Hello, so I'm going to do my Panos Eyeshadows update. I really love this project. This is my favourite project out of all of the ones that I'm doing, although I'm not doing that many, but I am starting a new one this month, so stay tuned. Anyway, so yeah, this is my update for the month of July. I actually have a couple of new pans, which I'm really excited about, and I'm also going to roll out I think one or two items. So let's get started. I'll start with the shade that I've used the least, which is in this neon palette from Primark. I just don't really like this palette that much. I've got this shade in the project. You can see I've used it a little bit more. I mean, I have been starting to use quite a bit of the other, just these two. This actually is a really nice shade. I sort of stayed away from it, but I used it the other day and I really liked it. But yeah, I've only used this twice this month, and it is one of the ones that I'm just going to roll out. I'm just losing a little bit of interest in this palette, and I also just don't want to use something that I'm not enjoying. So I am going to roll this out, but I feel like I've given it as much love as I could possibly give it at this point, and I'm ready to use something else. Normally I would roll out a shade after using it 20 or 25 times. I've only used this 10 times, but I feel like that's enough for me, and I'm doing a little bit of a cheat this month. So that's the first one. Okay, second one that I've used the least is from my Club Nebula palette. This is the Rock Hopper shade, which is right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see any kind of dip. It's really hard with these shades. I use them and I don't even see myself the progress, but there should be a little bit of a dip forming there. I have only used it, how many times? I've used it 3 times this month, which is not a lot. It's a little bit too dark and grungy for me. I'm really into like the lighter looks at the moment, or more oranges and yellows, and not so much mauvey tones, because this is really purpley mauvey, and it's just more of a winter shade for me. I used it 3 times last month as well, so that's 6 times. I'm going to keep it in for another month, but I probably will roll it out next month, just like I've done the neon, and maybe get to like 10 times. The thing is with this type of shade, if I try it for 20 times, I'm not going to hit pan. It's just that type of formula. So I don't want to force myself to use it 20 times if I'm not going to even get to any sort of pan depth. So I am going to just keep it in another month, try to use it whenever I possibly want to, and then I'll roll it out. Okay, another shade that I've only used 3 times this month, but this one I've hit pan, which is crazy because I didn't think I was going to hit pan, is from the Book of Magic from Beauty Bay, and it is this shade right here called Enchanted. I used this so much last month, and then I used it 3 times, and then suddenly I saw a pan. I really wasn't expecting it. I just was kind of shocked, and I did that at the beginning of the month. So the beginning of June, I obviously filmed my update for the previous month, then, carried on using this, and I think the first week or two, I hit pan, and then I haven't touched this palette since because I just didn't want to expand it, because I do like the color. I actually really like this shade, but I don't know, it's just, I didn't expect it, and I'm super happy to be able to roll something else and actually have some use out of this. I mean, I just love this palette so much. Maybe I will pull in one of these gorgeous shimmers. I don't know, I really want to pull in like something gorgeous for the next update, which is going to be today. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I pull something really nice. But yeah, that one is done, and I'm obviously going to roll that one out. Next up is from my Afterglow palette from NARS. This one, this is a tricky shade, so it's this one right here. It's called Guayaquil. I don't really know how to pronounce that or anything. I think it's this one, because when I look at everything written here, the way it falls on the palette, I think that's what it's called. It's a lovely shimmery coppery brown, and I've been using it to deepen up looks. I don't really recall what kind of looks I did this month, but it is one of those formulas that you can't really see that much progress. I don't know, I feel like there's a little bit more progress there than obviously when I first rolled it in, but I think I've had this in for the project for about 3 months now, and I'm just not going to hit pan. I just know I'm not going to hit pan. So this one is another one that I'm going to roll out. I'm kind of at the point where, okay, I've used it enough, I feel comfortable with the shade, I kind of know what to use it for, but I'm getting a little bit bored. So I used it 5 times this month, 5 times last month, and then 6 times the previous month, so that's, what, 16 times? I think I'm at the point, why should I use it another 4 times just to get to that 20 mark that I've set myself when I don't really need to? So yeah, I'm going to roll this one out, and be done with it. And then last but not least is the Chilling in Chicago from BH Cosmetic palette. This one I've also hit pan, and I just rolled it in this last month. So it was this one called the L, and it is a lovely another sort of buttery powdery matte shade, and obviously a cream shade. It's more orangey though, but I like it, and I used it 12 times, and at the 12th time I hit pan. So then I stopped using it because I just didn't want to expand it a little bit. But yeah, I really love this palette. This is one of my favorite palettes, and I'm actually really happy that I hit pan so quickly because it shows how much I loved it. I had so much pleasure going into this palette this month. It wasn't a chore, which I feel like the Club Nebula really is a chore because I just don't want to use that shade. But I'm keeping it in the project for one more month. I am doing that. But yeah, this one I'm going to be rolling out, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to roll in 4 new shades, 2 new pans, 4 new shades. Let's do this. So I have received a few new palettes, but I haven't added them into my sheet, so I'm just not going to add them. So it's going to be the same number that I had last time, 1 out of 335. So let's see what the first one's going to be. 187. The next one will be 284, 114, and then 322. So let me see what these are, and then I will put them all together. If there's 2 shades that are exactly the same or very, very similar, I'll roll in another shade to replace the second one that I've rolled. But yeah, let's see what I've got. Okay, so I am going to roll in again because one of the shades has already been in this project and I didn't want to do it again. It's from my Jackie Aina palette, and it's the ginger one. I had this a few months ago. I rolled it out because it just wasn't hitting pan, and I used it a lot of times. So I'm just going to roll one more time. I have the rest of them, they're fine, and just see what we get. So let's just do it one more time and give me something good. 73, so let's see what that is. So 73 is from my LA Dreams from Makeup Revolution, and it's the Surf's Up, which I already have a pan in. So I don't know what's going on, but come on, let's get a number that I haven't used before. Let's go again. 2. 2, okay, let's try 2. Okay, so I've got my new color story now, and there are no duplicates, so it's all good. I'm going to tell you what I've got now. So number 2 actually was from my MAC palette. This is the Star Sighting Compact in Fuchsia. I've not really sort of used this on my channel at all. I've talked about it in my like ranking eyeshadow palette videos, but I've never used it in a look. So it'd be good to, actually no, maybe I have. That's a lie, I think I have. But anyway, this is a nice little 6-pan. It was one of their Christmas collections a few years ago, and I got it for Christmas. And the shade that I rolled in is the second one, which is this one here. So let me just swatch this and we'll just see what it's like. But I think this one is going to be quite an easy one that I'm going to be able to hit pan in, because it's just one of these really light matte shades, and I feel like, I mean, look at that. That's like my skin tone, right? So this one is probably going to be another one that I'm going to be able to roll out quite fast. But that's the first one. Second one was from my Mint to Be palette. I've already had this in the project, but this is a different color. So the color that was picked is this one called Chill Factor. So it's this just darker green. And again, it's a matte. I just find the formula in this palette not very good compared to all the other ColourPop palettes. I don't know if you feel the same way, but they're just so, they're really like beyond flaky. So that one, that looks like that, and actually I kind of like that because it's like a muted green. I don't know, I think that's quite nice. Next up, I got another shade from my Club Nebula palette. This one, though, is the lovely Celestial shade. It is this gorgeous shimmer. So it's actually quite nice that I've got 2 now in this palette. So let me just swatch both of them side by side. That's what they look like. So obviously this is the one that I've been using, which is the Rock Hopper. And then this is the Celestial one, which is just a gorgeous topper shimmer. But together, I imagine they'll be really, really beautiful. And I really I find this color story a little bit interesting. So the last one is probably going to throw off the whole thing because this is all sort of cool tone, and then the last one is warm tone. So I picked the other neon from Primark. This is the pink one. And I haven't tried this palette yet, but the color that I was given was the 9th shade. So if I go like that, it will be this one here. Actually, this one is not warm tone. This one is also sort of light as well. Oh, it is, actually no, it is warm tone, but that's quite pretty. I mean, the only thing that sort of throws it off are these 2, but these 3 together are quite nice. I don't know, that's kind of an interesting color story, but that is my new color story now for the next at least month. As I said, I'll probably roll this one out next month because I've had it in a couple months now and I'm just not getting anywhere with it. But because I've got these two to sort of play around with it, and this one obviously is in the same palette, I like to use one palette, one look, because when you use multiple palettes, it just gets a little bit much. So yeah, and this one's going to be easy to do. I just can't really pair it with any of them. I'm just going to have to pair it on my own. I don't know, that's my new color story. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited because it's different to what I've been using. And whenever you use something different, it's always exciting. And then when I get down to it, I'm gonna be like, oh, actually, what am I gonna do? But I guess we'll find out next month. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you next time. Bye.